What we got today?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gonna get us all in trouble.
Okay.
Oh my God, Outkast!
Wow.
Hey, look,
Hey,
this
he's
show
the
don't
most.
this show don't make no money yet, so we can just play whatever songs we want.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, hey!
This is not our army.
this that regular clothes. This that regular clothes 3000.
Andre was the most underrated rapper. When they talk about lists, like that dude is just so underrated. It is.
He look, man, he just won't give everybody that solo album they want. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know if I've ever seen him with that haircut.
Yeah, that's
What I do know is you are all tuned into the Stuck in Neutral podcast. I'm Jeff Cooks. Here with my guy Brendan Netherton. And
What up,
today,
baby?
we got us one of them there guests. And he is African American, so the numbers are in my favor today. Straight from the West Coast, Mr. Trey Anderson. Trey, tell the people what it is.
what's up, cuz?
Look, man.
What up, man?
Look. Cut the music. Cut the music. Because we were just talking offline about as and how I know Trey is we play football in college together, and Trey, talk about your man cave that you just did, but what it turned into.
You try to put me out there. Honestly, it turned into something sexy. I did not expect it to turn out this way, and not to get all mushy, bro. Like I never envisioned that I would have something like this nice, that I can call my own, away from the house and everything. So you have your vision board and things that you want and things that you envision that you want in your home, and when you start your family. This is something that this is beyond what I was just gonna put a couch and some pull-up chairs down here, and I think $6,000 later, I got this.
Okay.
Hey man, congratulations though. And I know where you're from.
You got it all to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all know man caves turn into princess caves when you have kids.
Right.
Is that what you said, Trey?
And to be completely honest, the reason that I got this so fast is because we're actually in the middle of construction in the house. So we were doing we're all in the kitchen, bathroom, dining room, laundry room. And my wife, as you know, Binette is a teacher. So the idea was to get this ready so she can come down here during the construction. But we found out in the middle of it that she was able to still do her thing and not be distracted with what they were doing in the kitchen. So I thought this project was maybe 2 years out, and here we are.
Yeah. But did y'all have a good day? Did y'all have a good day today?
It was all right.
Dang. Yeah, well, my day was a little shaky till I got home, and I got home and I'm listening to R&B with my son, right? My son is 12. I got my son trained, right? So we listening to R&B like back to the 60s all the way up. So I'm putting him on game today though. So I was breaking down the lyrics, teaching him how these R&B dudes was spitting at girls in these songs. So I'm laying it down for him. So he looking at me like, "Hey, that I never knew." I said, "Yeah, you could just steal these songs and use it as your rap." That's what the old dudes call it. That's what the old dudes call it. They rap, right? What are the names for that? It's your game, your rap. What else? What they call it nowadays?
I don't know, because
is it still spitting game? It's still spitting game. Bro, we out of touch. We out of touch.
Everybody got one of these on. That's the thing. Like we just.
But
we just trying to be family, man.
What is R&B still alive?
Yeah, R&B still.
What R&B song that's on the radio right now that you know?
Well, on my radio it's old something, but no, there's a lot of artists that I've traditionally listened to that still make music. So it might not be on the radio, but I mean, who still listens to like the radio? I don't.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know, when I turn the radio on, I'll be honest, I used to be listening to some gospel or, you know, Pastor Al. He'd be hitting in the morning. I got to get my mind right before I go into work and make sure that I'm spiritually sound first.
When I turn on the radio, all I hear is and look, this is what I'm not going to do. So y'all know I work in the youth correctional facility. So my students make me actually listen to some of these songs. Some of these young cats, even though they all sound the same, they are saying something. Some of them are talented. There's just so many that are bad that you gotta like filter through to get to the talented ones.
Because Trey got a point.
As soon as I hear
R&B, is R&B just like rap? There's some underground stuff, right? You can if you just don't want to hear it, you're like, I'm gonna go here. R&B need underground. R&B need like stuff. I need who?
They got underground. They got multiple genres within R&B.
They do. Yeah, they do. Because, like you said, like I don't listen to the radio unless it's on ESPN or it's on NPR. I don't know if you guys listen to NPR. And every now and then I listen to a podcast through YouTube and just play them in my car. And then it'll just go off on something that I guess you know how YouTube is. It'll, if you don't stop it, it'll play something in the genre of something that you watched before. Mm-hmm. And then I just start hearing all these dope R&B artists that, like you said, are underground coming up and that are like blowing and covering, you know, covering other people's old songs and it's pretty dope. But it's like what you know, it feels like there's no lane for them right now.
Yeah, I guess I just still listen to the same artists I've always listened to. I gradually over time I'll add in one or two new ones. Maybe I add like one or two a year, but for the most part I still listen to the same old R&B artists. But they still put out music that to me like is relatable because I'm growing with their music. So like with the young kids, what might be hot to the young kids, not enough of it's gonna appeal to me because I'm like past that stage. Like I ain't in the club, I ain't hollering at nobody no more. Like I'm on lock, bro. I need music for people on lock.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you ever think, me and my buddy at work were talking about this the other day, did you ever think that you would get to the point to where you're saying like, man, the music y'all listen to is trash these days?
I did. And I did. And the reason why is when we were in high school, was I on 60s and 70s R&B most of the time.
Motown, Jeffrey.
Bro, I was listening to old music so much when I was young. I knew once I got older, I was going to turn against the young kids. I knew I was going to be that dude. Like, what's this bull, y'all?
Right. But see, I've always been R&B more so dude, man. Like, you know, I have to be in moods for certain rap, but I've always been R&B first.
No, I had to. So I actually posted a couple weeks ago on Facebook, giving a shout out to my dude, M-Hop, Melvin Shaw, because he put me on the hip hop really in middle school. I was just straight R&B, and I really had set in my mind in middle school that I belonged in an R&B group, and I was like the missing member for a group that was somewhere. I really thought there was a group somewhere that was performing, and they couldn't make it because they hadn't found me yet, and I was the missing piece. I was the Eddie Kane. I was somebody's Eddie Kane pre-drugs. I was pre-drugs Eddie Kane. I was pre-drugs David Ruffin in my mind.
David Ruffin pre-drugs.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
You know, it's funny, bro. There are two different occasions where I, by just being bored in the dorms, became a part of a group. When I was at Cal State Northridge.
Stop.
It always starts with
time out.
What up?
Time out. I hope. No, I'm gonna let you continue. But once you get to McPherson,
I'm gonna get to there. I'm gonna get to that. But check this out. When I was at Cal State Northridge, one of my roommates, he had downloaded like Pro Tools, and then we just started. You know, we started rapping and all that. And then me and my buddies, we used to think we were singers, and we just started singing. We were singing over songs. And then one day, my buddy was like, man, come with us. So I went with him. It was the three of us. And we went to some studio, and we auditioned for this dude. I'm like, Wait,
They had a
we doing?
random R&B group.
I'm like, bro, are you serious?
What was y'all's
Bro,
name?
Serious. I don't even know what our name was. And look, this is the funny thing, bro. We started to write a song, or my buddy started to write a song. We never got past the lyrics of Que Pasa.
That's why it's over with. That's why it's over with.
Oh,
The song started out with, this is how the song started. Que
Uh-uh.
Pasa. We never got past that.
Why?
I'm glad y'all ain't
I'm
glad y'all ain't get past that because you was gonna have kids one day and they ain't need to be dealing with that.
Bro, and then
kids.
Look, and then fast forward to McPherson. It was one of those 3-day weekends that most of the locals or the people who live close, I think it was like a 4-day weekend that people that live close went home. And we stayed in the dorms. And Paulson had a computer with Pro Tools on there. And we started rapping. And it was fun. We was rapping, we was recording it. And then these niggas set up a concert in the student union. And had the nerve to get mad at me when I was like,
bro. No, bro. See, you don't even know the Mac 5 predates your time. You don't even know about the Mac 5.
Jeff, I never told him about this.
You don't even know about the Mac 5,
I never
Trey.
told you about this.
Trey, they had me doing the neck like Wanye. They had me doing the Wanye neck. I want a new life.
Hey, when you and Damien started singing, and it was like, who was the backup singers? Me,
you, the little white dude from Dakota,
Brown,
Idaho,
Brown.
Idaho, yeah, Idaho.
Right?
You brought up,
and I got this. Yeah,
no, go ahead.
Sway, we talking about Sway.
Hey, Sway. Hey, Drip. What did you say? No, I'm. He gonna reply to this because I'm gonna get him. But check this out. So they singing, and I got this speaking part, and I go right up to Lisa Easter.
Hey, don't tell me Love Joneser.
Look, he's supposed to be Mike. He's supposed to be deep voice Mike. Girl.
Wow.
I said, girl, forget about these words. And she get up and run away when I'm talking to her. And we win the joint.
Mac 5 forever. No, look, y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know I'm working on some stuff right now, right? So today I had to.
Hold on. Do you have a curl?
No, I just got the sponge.
Okay.
Hey, but I understand. I understand why you paused like that. If I would have had a curl, though.
Yeah.
But so we listening to Biz Markie, Just a Friend today, right? For some reason, I'm chilling with my son. I flipped it to the John Legend version. I done made up a John Legend version. You say I'm just a friend. Oh, baby, you. Got what I need.
Why did we get on him,
I'm just a friend. Then y'all know, I know y'all saw my Facebook. I'm working on flipping these songs to country, right?
You stupid.
Yeah. Y'all ain't see the Caillou? I'm just a star.
Hey, Jay.
The
one thing he used to do, no, country wasn't his first genre. He used to sit there and be Michael McDonald. McDonald. He was working that.
No, I had a Michael McDonald this past weekend. It was something that was hitting too. Like it was hitting. Even my wife said it was hitting. I just can't remember what song it was. Cause y'all know I be messing with that Michael. Every time I see your smile.
He trying to get it.
I know you're hollow. Man,
I thought about y'all on maybe Tuesday. A random video popped up on Instagram of y'all, that dude, the alumni, is Bob Sapp.
Yeah.
His ass beat.
Why was he when he got slept? He got slept quite a few times to end his career.
And then,
by a little dude.
So then I went down a rabbit hole. I started looking at videos of him fighting. I'm like, bro, why is he getting beat?
Because he get tired and
dude.
Right, I was.
You see how hard he be breathing?
I was in yearbook.
You see how hard he was breathing?
In yearbook, Jeff. I was in yearbook. Remember when I think it was Japan was offering like $10,000 for his yearbook?
Yeah,
I was
bro. Like on eBay in Asia, man, they was paying like thousands of dollars. They're paying 5 figures for his yearbook.
Why?
I was looking for it. I was
because
like,
he's famous over there. Because like you see all the videos when he took a bunch of losses, but at first he was a monster and he was beating everybody.
So now he's just getting a check to get beat up.
Yeah, I mean, but he get tired so quick now. I feel like he be tired on the walk to the ring because he be done. He be in that.
I heard.
B, I'm gonna sign him. B, Sweet Dreams Promotions. We coming back. Him, Nate Robb. I'm about to just start signing.
Nate
Robinson,
hey,
isn't he from your neck of the woods, Trey?
No, Nate Robb is from
Seattle.
Washington. Yeah, he's from Washington.
Okay, I just want. That's close enough.
Fun fact: he played right. He played cornerback for Washington, University of Washington.
Nate?
Yeah, he was a beast.
He was like he was a 3-sport all-state athlete. Yeah. He was in track, football, and basketball.
Yeah.
Look, nobody's I don't want to go back into it. Nobody said he's not athletic, but he got slept. Anyways, back to Bob's broken my nose. So Bob, what's crazy? I hear he's really, really smart. Like really intelligent.
Bob Sapp.
Yeah, really intelligent.
I would hope so.
I think he has like 2 master's degrees.
Well, I wish he would fall back. I wish he would fall back on that and stop falling back on his head.
No. Hey, speaking of Mac, hold on.
B, have you spoken to Coach Ward?
I've texted him a couple times just saying like, and this is in the past, his wife and me, on Facebook, her daughter, I think the last time I talked to him was her daughter was doing something for softball and some fundraising. And so I just gave to that. And, she's such a nice lady. I mean, their whole family is such and people don't know who Coach Ward is. He's a defensive coordinator in Nevada. He was our head coach in McPherson, and talk about a transformational guy. And I don't mean to get, we're getting serious right now. Change your life type of deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put you through some things that you're like questioning everything, physically, mentally, everything. But he could change a program. He knows what he's talking about. But I talked to her. I'll text him annually, saying hello or whatever, and just wishing him luck.
It's funny, bro. And I feel the same way, bro. Like what he did for us our senior year, bro. Like a lot of the lessons and the conversations that we've had, behind closed doors, especially with us being the captain of our senior year, having different conversations behind closed door or just sidebar during practice. It stuck with me, and it's still with me, and I feel like some of those lessons I try to instill in like my guys at work, the younger guys. But I asked you that because I just reached out to him, maybe earlier this week or last week, and I don't have any malice in my heart towards him because I feel like I've gained a lot from that man, but I realized that I reached out to him a couple more times and he never responded. On the message, and I thought because when I talk to Drew every now and then, I know Drew talks to him sometimes, and I thought that maybe I was confused as to how good of a relationship I did have with him, because I reached out to him a couple times on one of them was just, hey coach, man, pretty much just saying, thank you, appreciate it, hope everybody's doing well. No response.
Yeah. Is it his cell phone or are you messaging him?
No. On Facebook. I jumped in his DMs on Facebook.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much he actually like pays attention to that. Like I don't know if his number's still the same, but I've texted him and now and then he'll just reach back. But I understand what you're saying. But then I try to put myself in his position of like maybe his impact on us was greater than he even knows. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he because for me, and I've talked about this as a parent, I've never had a dad, and this is me being vulnerable. When I get with, to a male leader, like I tend to like try to like be like, I don't, and this is gonna sound weak, but I tend to say, hey, like, what are you doing? How do I get that? Because I've never had that in my life. And he in my life was that kind of like men of men.
Yeah.
You know
he
what
was
I mean?
alpha. He was an alpha.
When he came into that, when he came into that interview, even he could sell water to a whale. Like Coach Ward is that type of dude that will not just tell you something, but he'll go follow through with it. And you can see like, oh, there's like actual like not just promises, but steps into like what he's doing. So you kind of like fall in love with a guy like that. You're like, man, how do I be transformational like him and get that impact? And you know, I feel what you're saying. I do. But I don't know how many DMs I don't know how many like messages he gets from people. Or if he even checks that.
And that's why I don't want to take it personal. I try not to, because he's a 6-hour drive for me. And there's some like a couple of my buddies, they have relatives on that team that plays for him. So I wanted to kind of
I don't know if he knows the impact. Yeah, but Trey, I don't know if he knows that impact on us. Because when you think about us, and maybe it's a lot of kids he's had impact on, he gets a lot of messages. I don't know, but I know this. I know if me and you went down there, and I think if we just showed up, he would hug you, he would love on you. And I feel what you're saying, though. Like, for me and you, it's like, man, you don't know that impact, and this is to all coaches, that you have on how you've formed us, or what you've said to us, what you've promised us, you showed us. I mean, it was like a year for us.
Yeah.
You know,
it's funny, bro. Like, I don't know if you remember, he used to say, I'm trimming the fat. And he was, and what he meant was the like most of y'all I would not have recruited. Most of y'all I probably would not have spoken to in the hallway. So I'm going to trim the fat, and the ones that should not be on the team are going to get burnt off. And I do that at work, man, with my guys.
Yeah,
I tell my assistant manager, man, like, we're gonna trim the fat, bro. So they are
can we
they're either gonna get on board, or we just gonna have to, or we're gonna have to performance manage them out.
Sure, and you know what? I think that's in all levels, but I think this: how many times, and Jeff, I wish you would have met this guy. How many times did you look at the exit?
Yeah,
at 5 a.m. And I mean that because it wasn't just, when I say physical trimming, it was almost like the mental and physical that he put you through. It was day one, people were like, I can't do this.
Yeah. See, for me, that's how I feel like I got gypped with my college experiences. That's the coach I wanted.
Yep.
Oh, that's what he's the coach I wanted, and I got bums.
Yeah, you would have loved him, bro.
Yeah, I got bums. And so, like, getting bums made me be like, oh, this ain't worth it. Like, I'm not about to give all myself to this nonsense for like, I don't.
But what Trey's,
I love the challenge.
Trey's getting at, though.
Yep.
Yeah, but what Trey's getting at is when you have a transformational guy like that, you end up like almost like, hey, I want to keep in touch with you. Hey, I want to, you've changed my life. Not just like football, like, not that I can't go out there, and people don't realize the education of football that he gave us was great. Like, don't get me wrong, helped me in coaching. It helped me see and slow a game down. But it was becoming a man, and I don't even remember like football with him. I mean, I remember it, but I don't remember it as much as I know the impact he had on me as a person.
The lessons.
And I think, what it sucks is like, man, I wish I could just have that guy around me all the time. You know what I mean?
Like, I still talk to
Jeff,
people.
you. Go ahead, Trey.
I still talk to people about Pikes Peak. And the impact.
What I tell you at the base of that mountain,
bro?
Somebody asked me, Jeff. They go, Brendan, have you climbed that? I said,
no.
And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, that's not something I've done. And they were like, oh, it doesn't look too far away. Climbing Pikes Peak doesn't look too far away.
Yeah.
If we get halfway, that mountain looked further away.
Hey,
I don't know if anybody.
Dub had to do it 2 years in a row. So can you imagine the psyche on you exhausted and everybody around you, and they're like, man, we almost there, and like, bro, we aren't even a third.
No.
If I was Dub, I would like,
no, I ain't worried. I wouldn't be worried about Dub, man. Light skins, they can handle oxygen deprivation.
But Jeff, the thing it's something about
the inefficient amount of melanin that allow them to reach higher elevations and breathe. Right. Okay, he got bird lungs.
Dub calls me on his way. He goes, man, these dudes don't even know what they in for. What I'm mad about is I've also heard rumors there was no off season that we had in athletics like that first year. Dub's like, no, Brendan.
He was
that
trying
first
to make
year,
people quit.
Jeff, in the mental game of like physical, I was probably in the best shape of my life ever.
Yep.
But also the mental shape of, and during third quarter, I wasn't even breathing hard. Like, but mentally, I was like, man, I'm ready to run through a wall for this. I didn't know what that meant until I met him. When you want to run through a wall for somebody, he made you believe, yes, you can do it, and you're going to do it.
Dude, I remember, I don't know how many conversations you had with him outside of the ones we had together behind closed door about like, because he was not going to allow Dub to come back.
No. And every time I begged him, I almost gave my position up for Dwight.
Yeah.
I said he can play mine.
Yeah, I told him, like, I know we got, those are my boys, don't get me wrong, Steve and Gary and all them. I'm like, bro, he will be your best receiver on this team. And if not your best receiver, one of your best guys, period. And he was like, yeah, we just don't need him. No, I think you don't know who was hating on him? Steve Dickinson.
He didn't want that.
He's like, man, we just don't need him. We have a good core. I'm like, nah, you need Dub. And it's crazy to for him not wanting him to Dub eventually becoming his captain.
Now, Jeff, I'm gonna reverse here. How many times did we say this when Dwight was in high school? He was probably the most athletic guy. We all knew it. Like Dwight was probably the like.
Don't do me like that, bro. I jumped higher. And look. So don't do me like that, because I'll do y'all like this. I jumped higher. As a senior, I ran as fast, and this motherfucker turned 19 before I turned 18. Don't do me like that, bro. You're not doing me like that, bro.
But hear me out. Jeff.
Bro, I can windmill, bro. I can windmill, bro. Don't.
But hear me out. Hear me out.
He was a sensational football player, though. Like he was incredible. He was an incredible receiver.
Jeff, you are a nigga first. You are the epitome of I'm a nigga first. Before I answer this question,
don't do me like that. I will not allow that. I will not allow that.
I love Jeff's response to this. You know why though? Because for me, I had to work so hard to even play with these guys. Like I had to, and Trey, here's the thing. I always tell people this. I would not have started if we ran a man coverage in college. I wouldn't have. Like, I just wouldn't. And that's just me being honest with me. What I had on my side is I was smart and I was willing to learn film, and I knew what I could and could not do very well in Tampa too. Like, very well. But Jeff and Dwight, like when I think about high school and coming to college with both of them, which I enjoyed so much because they're like, just family to me. But to watch the battles between Jeff, Dwight, players that are really athletic, it pisses you off because you'd be like, man, I just busted my ass every day. These guys could take 3 or 4 days off and still be better athletically than you. Like it just was that. You know what I mean?
Trey, I was 165 pounds when I graduated. And my sophomore year, I was at Mac. At the end of the second semester, I was 208.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of people.
Like I was a late bloomer, man. I was like a baby still in high school.
No, when I graduated, I was 162.
Oh, see, yeah, you know that life.
And I thought I was the buffest nigga walking around.
I knew I was skinny. I knew I was skinny.
No, but see, that's the problem. I did not. Like, I look, bro. I did not know that I was considered short until I was like maybe like 19, 20. I promise you, bro. Like, I don't know. I just did not know that until because Cal State Northridge was a D1. They canceled our program after my freshman year. But like, I remember going into after my freshman year, one of the dudes like, man, get your little short ass out the way. I'm like, wait, short? Like, what you mean, bro? hey,
man, that's a trigger word for short people.
It changed me forever. It changed me forever.
But real talk, you know who I miss though, Trey? I wish Jeff was there with Coach Ward because defensively, when you have a relationship like that and you know what he could do, imagine him in NA. Like for me, it was
NA. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I look at that and I go, man, you can't get more comfortable than that. But I don't know. You know what hurt me the most going to, and I hate to say this, and this is just me putting it out there because I love the people of McPherson, like a lot of great people there. But I hated taking questions from some of the students about black people.
About your black friends.
Right. I don't know how many times I had to take questions. And I go, you guys realize, and I'm glad you guys are both here, that Colorado Jeff and California Trey, just because they're black, they're not the same person.
Right.
like to me, that used to drive me nuts. And I go, I don't know, go ask him. I don't know. And then I found out. I was like, you know what? It's about experiences. And some of y'all just haven't experienced black people before. Mm-hmm. So I think you need to go and get yourself a buddy or a peer. You know, like I'm in the thinking part because I was taking it personal. Like, stop coming to me about my friends. Do you want to date him? Go talk to him. I don't know. You know,
bro, I remember I didn't know nobody except everybody on the football team for like a month at Mac because everybody would talk to me to like talk to me. Man, they'll be like, "Hey man, how's that new Jeff guy, man?" Because Trey, you don't know when we decided to transfer into Mac, they ran an article in the town paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
They was calling us the Colorado triplets was coming in. And so like when we got there, it's like a big deal in the town. But people were it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment.
Look, the college for me, the people were great. Like as far as the adults, like great people, you know?
Yeah.
And Dave Barrett is one of the coolest people you'll ever meet. And great experience for me because, and Trey, I don't know how California people go, but when I went there, it was small, but I still had relationships with people, which I thought was beneficial. But man, I think the kids, I was just like,
well, it changed a lot. It was a culture shock, major culture shock for me. You know, coming from you were out here being like, you know, coming from like I grew up in the hood. For a few years, I was bussed out to the suburbs, and then of course I came back and finished high school in the hood. But and then I went to Northridge, Cal State Northridge.
For our viewers, can you explain hood? Because I know a lot of people think they're from California.
So I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I grew up on Hoover and Vernon. Now Hoover is one of the most hated gangs in Los Angeles, and the gang spans from 42nd Street to 112th Street.
Just give us an estimate of like mileage.
Mileage, that's maybe about 10 miles of one gang. There's no other gang like that in Los Angeles. And this gang does not get along. They used to be Crips. They are now anybody killer. They don't get along with Bloods or Crips.
Oh.
Yeah. So Hoover is the gang that my family's from. I technically have never got put on that gang, but if you go to that neighborhood, they will tell you that I'm from that hood. Unfortunately, when I had transferred to to Washington High School in LA, I had got put on a hood there that's actually a rival hood to the hood where I grew up in and my family is from. It was just a day I was chilling with the homies football team, and then I saw like 15, 20 guys come from one way and another like 10, 20. I'm like, man, where are they going? He's like, oh man, they looking at you. And like, we about to put you on. And it was one of the final moments. The whole school's looking. What I'm gonna say. So I got put on that hood. And luckily for me, like, man, that like playing sports and in like situations like that, that's allowed me to be able to go in damn near any hood in LA because of the guys that I played sports with, Little League, high school, and then I actually was from a rival hood than the hood that I grew up in. So it's crazy, man. Like my uncles don't even know that happened to me because it would be a problem, you know.
So, right. Let me ask y'all a question, because that culture is like an illogical aspect of Black culture.
Yeah.
But let me tell you some of my experience today. So today I'm wearing jeans, like a flannel shirt and some boots, right? And I teach in a youth correctional facility. So one of my students come up to me, a Black male, and it's like, yo, Cooks, you dressed white today. You look like a white boy. And so I was like, what? I said, you're a prisoner. Why do I like I could like I be talking to my kids real, right? So I said, you're in prison. I don't care about your opinion. But I went back to my classroom and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yo, like, why are we like that? Like, why are black people like that? And I thought back though, for after a while, and I was like, well, I was like that in high school. I remember getting to high school and seeing black dudes wearing puka shell necklaces and Abercrombie and Fitch and being like, oh, they dress like white dudes. And like over time with maturity, I learned to be like, no, you can dress however you want. Black, there's not like a singular version of blackness. And so, like, why is it you think in our culture we have like this singular idea of what black is?
You know, because
and before you answer, Trey, hold on. For everybody that's in a small rural town, I want you to listen to these answers. They're probably going to be a little bit of difference here because they're different people.
Yeah, you're right, bro. And so my senior thesis at Mac was identity formation amongst biracial students.
Okay.
And I interviewed I interviewed every biracial student on Mac's campus, which, you know, wasn't that many. And I guess from some of my own experiences. So like I said, I grew up in one of the worst hoods in Los Angeles. And then my mom had the opportunity to send me to actually in Northridge in Granada Hills, elementary out there. And it was I guess between 9 and 11 black kids that went to that school. Mm-hmm. And after being out there, of course, I started to change. I started to mature. My speech started to get better. I was starting to use proper languages, proper sentences. So when I would come home, my friends and my family would, man, you talk white. Man, you sound like a white boy.
Now, my brother experienced that same thing. My brother played football at Alcorn in Mississippi. My younger brother. So he got down there and they just called him the white boy. My little brother looks very similar to me, right? Much bigger than I am. But they call him the white boy because speak proper, like, you know. And being in Colorado, this is just how we all are. Like they're like, we don't, unless somebody's like an import.
Yeah.
Jeff, do you remember that time that you were in class at McPherson and Damien, I hope he's watching this. Damien, you were speaking in English class. And he goes, man, what, you just changed up on us? Like, you were like it's not speaking white, it's speaking proper.
Yeah, so it was like a question asked to me. You know, I'm thoughtful, I'm articulate. So I went from we was messing around in class like, yeah, dog, you know, to I wanted to answer the question. So I switched to, well, actually, I would like to profess that. And so Damien was like, bro, did you just turn white for a second? And I can't understand why or what about our culture makes us say that. Like, why do we attach to the things that are considered less intelligent? Why do we hold to those things and say that's our culture? Or why, like, if I dress in a way that another young black person might not dress, he considers that like the opposite of him. So that's white now, rather than that's just how you dress. Like, rather than that's just a black guy that dressed like that way.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny, man. Like, I don't know if you saw that at my wedding. A couple of my cousins, like, acting a fool, and they stormed out. It and it was the ghettoest looking. It was the ghettoest looking ones at the wedding, by the way. You know, I love them to death, but they you know, for a while, man, they feel like I feel like I'm better than them, and which I don't. But as I started to mature and I started to see things outside of the hood, like, bro, like, I lived in Section 8 apartments, bro. Like, you know, I shared a room with my sister until I went off to college. So it's like, man, even though we glorified, you know, it's like what's good is bad, what's bad is good type thing in the hood, bro. Like, we glorified that. Like, I was always looking outside the hood. Like, even though like I feel like I'm from the hood but not of it, because like the dude that was cool, like he was cool. Now he's out of high school 4 years removed, but he's still living in that same room trying to talk to the young chicks in the neighborhood smoking weed. Yeah. And it's like, he's like, I didn't want that. And that was one of my biggest fears, bro, like being that and like the struggle with my family on you know, out here. I don't talk to them. Our kids don't hang out. Our kids don't even know each other because they're still doing the same things that we used to do, hanging out on the corner, at somebody's house, drinking, smoking, damn near every day, allowing their kids to curse, things like bro, like that's not cute, like and laughing at it.
Well, let me ask you this: when do we get to a point, just like as a culture, as a people, as a society, that we accept that black is all things? So if at any point a single black person decides to do something, that is black now. Like black is not just like this box.
Yeah.
And then if a black person does something outside of that, you say, oh no, that person's not black. That person doesn't represent blackness. Like why do certain behaviors get to be? I just don't know why we have the narrative that certain things are black, certain things are not. My kids are interracial.
That box.
Yeah, my kids are interracial. So like a couple of my kids seem more black, right? A couple seem more white. But I'm like, society gonna look at them as black. So to me, everything they do is black. Really, right? Like, so when do we get to the point to where like everything is black? So if you go buy a mansion and you wear Crocs and cargo shorts and Coca-Cola t-shirts, that's still black. Just like if you put on a FUBU denim outfit with some Timbs and a tall tee, like that, like when does our culture open itself to all the possibilities of what we can be and not just narrow idea? Or why do we allow our kids to believe that way? Because I know plenty of black adults that are successful that aren't bound to those things. But why do we allow our children to think that way, and then they have to spend a lifetime fighting that?
What you just said, that box. What you just said, that box. You got to think of, like, I have friends and relatives who don't go past an hour outside of where they live. Okay. They don't leave their box, so they don't have to. They don't have to like continue to evolve, because their circle and where they stay and where they are most comfortable, that's what everyone's doing.
That's on point, bro.
And I feel like, bro, you grow. I feel like I've grown the most when I was in an uncomfortable situation. So it's like something like I tell my guys every day, like, man, we need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, so that nothing can rattle us. And I feel like that's how people in the hood, because like I've taken my buddies to parties when I went to college, and they didn't feel comfortable because we didn't have to. They did not feel comfortable because they didn't have to worry about people like trying to fight or shoot. It's like, bro, and I should tell him, like, bro, like that dude ain't staring at you because of that. He's staring at you because you got a dope hat on. Like he is from Bakersfield and from the suburbs. He does not know anything about where we're from. Like, just chill. And they couldn't get comfortable in that setting. I'm like, bro, like, we got girls here. Like, it's drink over here, dudes are smoking over there. Like, everything you want to do is here, without the element of you having to worry about somebody trying to jump on us or shoot us. Yeah. And it's like, bro, like they could not like grow in that uncomfortability, and they needed to get back to the neighborhood.
You know, something that consistently forces me to deal with that uncomfortability is being in an interracial marriage. Yeah. Being like, you pull up at a wedding for my wife's side of the family, and it might be two of us. It might be two of us, and the other one might be with me. So
how do you navigate that, bro? Like like I said, my senior thesis is on biracial students, right? And and I feel like I said, like, going to the school in the suburbs and coming home, I had a little bit of that push pull from my family and friends. Like, how are you balancing that with your kids in like teaching them that they are not just singular?